What's up, guys? Acidic Roots here. It's time for the finale to Mario Kart 64. If you notice, if you're watching the playlist, there's actually an extra video tucked in there of something I did way back in early 2015. I just felt like it'd be a neat little bonus with all the Mario Kart stuff I have. I mean, I was kinda off and on as to how much Mario Kart was gonna pop up. I finally just decided the hell with it, so yeah, you get a nice compact 5 videos to enjoy in this playlist. 4 of them feature Cobalt, the other one has a nice wipeout, so just enjoy. I tumble into the drink on the same stage, in fact, as the wipeout video. So there's some good stuff. So, and if you're thinking, you know, this combination of Cobalt and I playing Nintendo 64 games, if you want to see more of this, you're going to, because basically I found another game that I own for the Nintendo 64 that we're gonna do. I don't know if we can actually beat the game. I haven't played it a ton, but I said, hey, you know, it has 2-player mode, so we're gonna do it. Because obviously this is a standout feature in Mario Kart. They were smart to put it in the Super Nintendo one, and smarter to continue it with the Nintendo 64 one. So I just said, hell, I mean, I like the idea behind it, but there's just not enough, you know, folks doing these sorts of games. So but yeah, and obviously, I mean, if you see us wiping out and stuff, I mean, you gotta understand that this stage is tricky. All of these 4 stages are rather tricky to kind of get taken care of in mirror mode. I mean, I was able to do this back in the day, but this back in the day obviously refers to 12, 13, 15 years ago. So that's the thing. I haven't played Mario Kart in a long ass time. So that's pretty much the truth about every Nintendo 64 game I own. I tried doing GoldenEye a while back, but once we got to like the I forget her name, but the redheaded woman who's the love interest of James Bond and GoldenEye, you have to do a mission where you have to protect her from being shot, and she just dies way too quickly. It's like the second or third to last mission. Most people know what I'm talking about, but I can't beat that mission. I can beat the last mission, I can beat all the missions up to that mission, but that's the only one I can't beat, and I just said the hell with it, you know. I would actually like to do a GoldenEye LP, I mean, it'd be pretty fun, but there's just no way around that mission. Luckily, my cartridge, someone was able to beat the game on the cartridge that I own, but it's still a pain in the ass, you know. It's not just like most games that I own, it's not 100, or most LPs I've done, it's not 100% one just because of, you know, one mission or one screw up or something. But nonetheless, maybe one day I'll do it, maybe I'll figure it out. I mean, it's basically the pioneer that set off GoldenEye, or the Halo series, and I am a fan of first-person shooters, so I do like to do those games, but it's the main thing. So I lost train of thought as far as what I was talking about. But yeah, Cobalt won. I got 6th, which I don't understand why. I mean, this game, I mean, you gotta understand that this is tougher than 150C. So a couple mistakes will put you in 6th, 7th, or 8th. So it's unforgiving. It's not something to smile about. It'll definitely trip you up. But this stage is another hellion little course, you know, so you're ready to see what happens here. But now, obviously, if this was 150cc, I could get first on this, just so you know. I'm not going to get first. Just throw that out there right away. But I mean, the replay value of this really shoots up in mirror mode, though, because I assume that most people are not going to be pros at this the first couple times they play it. So it's just like, you might as well just kind of sit through and see how far you can get, whether or not you can get gold. I mean, there's nothing really to unlock. If you do get gold on all 64 cups in mirror mode, there's really nothing left. I mean, this is the last thing to do, is play 150 or mirror mode in special cup, and that's where you see the ending. I cut out the ending. You're not going to see the ending in this, and this is too dramatic. You know, I just felt like, you know, the way the game goes, it's like, oh, thanks for watching, the end, have a good life, keep enjoying yourself. But I mean, for people who are just watching this on YouTube, it's just like, well, you know, so I just decided not to include it. But I mean, most people have probably seen this a dozen times anyway, so that's the thing. I probably would have included the ending if it were 2015, but that's just where I'm at now. But yeah, these mushrooms don't help. I'll tell you that much, they really don't. They always give you mushrooms when you're taking a curve with, or a turn with no railing. That just doesn't help. You're going to shoot right off the edge and wind up in 8th. Yeah, this is just a bunch of madness. I gotta tell you, it's pretty big madness for this sort of thing. It's fun. You know, Nintendo knew that these stages would be a real pain in the ass, and that's why they saved them. And the Donkey Kong one is not so terrible, but this one, and even Rainbow Road, is kind of a bastard in some respects. I mean, the enemies in that stage can get you, and they know how to go for you, so that's the thing. It's like those porcupines. I mean, something will happen one way or the other. But I mean, obviously it's known that it's for balance, you know, it's supposed to be, there has to be some traps in there, but this is really not even a threat, 150cc. So you just have to know the stages. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. You know, the thing is there are 2-player co-op games for the N64. If you would have talked to me like 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have known that many, but they do exist. I knew about Mario Kart, and that was about it. But it's kind of funny looking back, just trying to say, well, yeah, trying to say, well, what else can you play with a friend when it comes time to? But it's like, there you go. So yeah, bastard of a stage there, that. Huh. Well, I guess I'll continue to provide updates. I've got a Halo montage coming. I was having fun doing that, but Halo Waypoint is really screwy right now. I've been playing a lot of Halo. I basically played a lot of it last year, but then it just kind of vanished in the winter of this year, 2018. And it's a nice. Oh, I can't burp again. I was gonna try to burp, but I could only get a couple out. So, yeah, so I played Halo up to a certain point, but now I'm just kind of, I wanted to return to it, and the thing about it is Halo needs to come back. I mean, between Call of Duty and that, it's always a good year when those games kind of come out together, which they did in 2012 and 2015, but I figured that there would have been a game this year. I don't know what's been up. I mean, Halo's has faced a lot of backlash. They've just been having a lot of technical errors. That's the thing about it. There's always something going wrong that's internal. There's always something to fix. So, you know, so many people complain about the updates and the layout and the console hardware updates and everything else. I mean, I just need to get this shit fixed, because the Xbox 360 never had those problems. I know obviously we're dealing with bigger hardware, but I mean, I hope by the time the Xbox 2 or whatever they're going to call it, I hope we don't have to deal with this again. They just need to release one game like within the first couple years of the Xbox coming out and just say, okay, you can play 5 or 6 different Halo games on this machine. You do an update that takes you 3 or 4 hours, and then you can play all the Halo games, and then that would take care of it. But that's just the main thing about that. So yeah, gotta spit a piece of my lip off. Yeah, so I've been trying to find new holiday games. I do like, you know, some people talk about the holiday season and say this is the best time of year for when video games come out. And I kind of feel that way. I mean, I was there for Halo 2 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, back when those games were like the big games of the year. And I remember Halo Reach and Call of Duty Black Ops, and I remember Black Ops 2 and Halo 4, and you know, Vice City back in 2002. So obviously there's just a bunch of games that typically come out October, November, December. But you know, I kind of missed it a few times. I wasn't talking about those games last year or in year 2 or year 1 of Acidic Roots. And you know, this is year 4, so the past 3 years. And you know, on top of that, I wasn't in 2014, you know, year 0. So, I mean, despite all that, I wanted to kind of get back to some of those games, just because, you know, I generally prefer classic games, but I do want to see what's cooking with this new stuff. Most people are just like, shit, dude, all I care about is Fortnite. Like, well, that's one thing, but it's just kind of awkward. That's just the thing about it. So Cobalt has won time and time again. He's actually doing pretty well for himself. He's in 2nd, I'm in 6th. So what will happen here? This is long. You know, this is a long course. You know, you're wondering, this is the last course and it's going to somehow take 15 minutes. I'm like, what the shit? Something's afoot. But so, Rainbow Road can be deceptive, but that's the main thing. Yeah, so we get mushrooms again. I don't really need them. You know, we need like some temperamental person just to be like, damn it, I don't need these fucking mushrooms. Which is the truth, you really don't. I mean, it's not as bad on this course, but it can be. Honestly, I would like to, you know, get some battle mode cooking, but 4 players is just pretty. I mean, the N64, you know, tried to say 4 people was like party time, but it really isn't anymore, just because the elements are too much on, they're too focused on like the dynamic of who's gonna win. You know, if you're sitting there shit talking 3 of your friends, it's different. If you're just shit talking one friend for 2 people, it's like one's gonna win, one's gonna lose. And you know, basically with 3 people, it's the same thing. You get the idea. It's just not a big enough audience. That's why it's weird to me when, you know, bigger games, people want less players more so than more players. I just prefer the PC way as far as being able to play with like 30 or 40 people. This is easier that way. It's not so much of an insult if you get 6th place out of 35 rather than 6th place out of 8, you know. Kind of rubs it in your face a little bit more. This is how video games should be, though. And most of the time the Xbox 360 just tapped out with 16, but it needs to be more like 24. I mean, for a game like Battlefield or a game like Call of Duty to implement war tactics, I mean, most of the time in an actual war, there's not just going to be 15 people that you're doing that with. 15 other people. So you gotta learn tactics for that sort of thing. But it seems strange. Bowser's a real pain in the ass in this one, and so is Donkey Kong. All the heavyweights are just here to kind of throw their weight around. They're not sticking to last place like they did in the first couple cups. So they know what they're doing. So. And trust me, someone will throw a wrench in this equation. You're gonna see what happens. I think you can tell just by the length, but it's the main thing. So maybe I'll put my little mushroom on. You know, you can hear the 1-up sound. Badass. Still have this box of Slim Jims and shit, you know, snacking on that sort of thing. So I've got, yeah, I basically have a shit ton of montages coming. I know the highlights of what's actually going on. I'm trying to do more with less and less with more. It's both weird trying to juxtapose that at the same time. Doing more with less and less with more. It's kind of tricky, but I'm doing it. You know, things are definitely different from last year. Last year I just kind of put out vlogs and just said, hey, you know, if it's funny, it's funny, but I know the elements of that now have a lot of different, you know, I mean, YouTube is constantly changing. For any person who is gonna try and fuck with this, I mean, that's just the truth in it, is YouTube is constantly fucking changing. They're constantly trying to leave more and more people in the dust. It's just elitism to the point in saying it's just too much dog eat dog. And that's the problem. YouTube doesn't care. It's pretty unconcerned with, it's just like, hey, you know, there's a prize at the finish line. We don't care who gets it. Just fight and we'll reward whoever gets it. And it gets fucking tiresome just because of, you know, the curriculum for all that. It's the #2 website in the world, but it just, you know, they have like these surveys if you log into your dashboard saying, tell us what's wrong. It's like, the thing is you don't even have customer service. You know, YouTube doesn't even have customer service, and you know, you just can't really do much of anything. So it doesn't really make that much sense to, you know, I don't know, that's the problem with most businesses to begin with. That's a whole different topic, but that's what you're dealing with. You need lawyers to make waves in this sort of situation. But the whole damn thing is that, well, I'm losing the point that I'm trying to make here, but I forgot what I was going to say. You know, it's too much dog eat dog, which is the problem. You know, for most people say, well, you have to watch this much and these many people have to fuck with you. I mean, I don't know. The struggles of a lowly YouTuber, but it just is really becoming uninteresting though. I mean, the whole damn thing is I haven't even laughed this year at people that I haven't discovered before. It's really been since I discovered a YouTuber back in April that I found someone worth watching. I don't know what to do. People just don't care about being funny. That's kind of the thing. So well, it's weird. You know, these are just complaints, but you know, the idea to it is just watch Saturday Night Live, just watch Big Bang Theory, you'll be fine. That's the honest context that we're trying to get across. Just watch those. They're tried and true, they're official. That's kind of the answer that they want you to think. Now I sound like a hippie or something. Danny Masterson trying to say, oh yeah, it was the truth, you know, you do what the system wants you to do or else. It's stupid that YouTube's a part of that. Know. I was just thinking about something the other day. I realized that if you're my age, which is basically 28 to 32, you know, that frame of age, you probably remember when there was an Adam Sandler movie that came out every year. If you like the occasional comedy and you remember when The Waterboy came out, you remember Happy Gilmore, and you remember Anger Management, there's no one doing that now. We just don't have folks who just kind of make campy and kind of you know, low-class comedy movies. This is few and far between. I mean, Kevin Hart kind of did it for a little while, but most of them were just kind of concerned with, like, a nightlife type thing. So it's just getting awkward trying to deal with that. It's fucking weird. It definitely is. So you start to miss Adam Sandler, but then you realize that you're talking, when you probably saw Anger Management, it was like, yeah, this is okay, but it's just not terrific. It's like I'm missing feelings of decency, where I was talking about a movie that was probably like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. I missed those feelings. That's how bad things are now. I'm missing feelings of 4s and 5s out of 10. That's the fucking problem. You can't really fix it. And of course, I miss feelings of, you reach a point where I wouldn't put it past me to say I miss feelings of 1s and 2s out of 10. Like, if I had to rate the day and say it was a 2 out of 10, I miss that feeling. So, I don't know. Whole answer is, once again, just play Fortnite, watch Saturday Night Live, and, you know, hop on Instagram. That's the only thing you can offer. Those 3 things are going to do it. And have a phone full of people that you can go out with. I don't know. You should have seen the look on my face I just did. I gave you a gesture as if you could see it, but there's a burp for you. I don't know where that came from. I haven't had anything today, minus an apple pie, but more on that in a way future vlog. So yeah, if you're watching Cobalt, or if you've been watching my playthrough, basically, unfortunately, I sent off a blue shell in the last Rainbow Road race, and it knocked Cobalt off the stage, and we had to play this whole race again, because he was in first, so it was stupid. I did kind of say blue shell, but I don't know. I should have probably given more of a warning, but you know, that was the problem, was, you know, the blue shell took him out, and it probably shouldn't have happened, but he was probably too far in first to be able to back away from it. So you know, that's the effects. You think a blue shell will help you most of the time, but that's the antics of a 2-player run, is you have to at least, you know, come up with safety recognitions for the second player, safety precautions. So just a little bit of extra Mario Kart trivia for someone. I mean, it doesn't happen that much in Mario Kart 64, but once you get to the later ones and you're playing with the second person, you do have to account for the safety of it. And it's the same thing with the lightning bolt. So it was just pretty dumb as fuck things that happened. The only thing you can really say about that. That and this jump. I mean, that jump at the beginning, that threw me off last time. We probably would have won completely if I wouldn't have fallen off and gotten 8th. You know, the thing about those racers is they're all tight-knit. They're all doing well. You know, no one's just haggling along in 8th and, you know, trying still in second lap and we're in the middle of the third. You know, they're all doing good. So I normally like this stage. That's the thing about it. I normally do like Rainbow Road. Maybe not in the Super Nintendo one, but in this one I do. So it's an extra thing. This one's kind of relaxing. This is really like a cruise, just because it's 6 minutes. Takes you 6 minutes to get done with this course no matter what. It's going to take 6 minutes, but you know, I suppose like speed demons might be able to get less than that, but Cobalt did well on this. You're gonna get to see what place he's gonna get. I don't know, I had problems with these because one mistake screws it up. I mean, when I used to play this with friends, it'd be like hell, you know. I'd be in a high place and I wonder, well, why did that happen? Just because that, you know, one mistake the computer catches up with you. But they have to do that because otherwise it'd be too easy, so. See, just like right there, 4th is from slipping on a banana peel, so. I mean, obviously, Cobalt would have, you know, more room. He'd probably be able to stay in 1st, but this makes me wonder the physics for 2 players, you know. So. I did get 3rd, so I redeemed myself in that stage alone. Wario eked out just between me, but that should about do it. You know, you get the idea of what's going on here. These antics will continue. I've got another game. Hopefully Cobalt and I can get it done. You'll see that in early December. I'm still not ready to go back to Mystic Quest. I just want to kind of explore a little bit more. I suppose there's enough playthroughs to where I can take my time, but you know, I want to have some fun with more games, get some more of these short games up. It'll be interesting, just like this one was. So, just know the general antics of what's going on, and this has to happen, so. Yeah, I need to pop my neck, that felt good. Alright, another 30 seconds. So once again, you know, if you beat Special Cup, you'll basically see the credits. I cut them out, so, you know, it's interesting enough, but we'll save you the drama. Just enjoy yourself. Cobalt wishes you have a good night. I wish you have a good night, and, you know, just kind of enjoy what's happening, the holidays and whatnot, and beyond. So subscribe for more fun.